Hi and good evening, everyone. My name is Albert. This is VlogsBoutNothin. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your night to join me. I really appreciate it. You've just tuned in right on time for a really good, hearty discussion on how I think AI is in fact not fake, and big tech is in fact actually being honest on this one, and it's definitely not the time to call their bluff. Okay, so recently I've seen a number, just kind of a really high number of videos that claim that big tech is, sort of creating this false bubble for the AI era. And there have been obviously some really good pieces of evidence brought forth to kind of justify why a lot of creators think that big tech is basically just kind of scamming everybody as it concerns the rollout of artificial intelligence and its impact on the company and what it actually is capable of and what it actually is not capable of. To go back with how we prefaced just a second ago, I think now isn't the time to call big tech out on a bluff, only because there's literally $500 billion invested in just the handful of companies that are doing all of the largest research as it concerns the implementation of generative AI in our everyday lives. And that is a fact. That is true. We just need to look around us, honestly, to know that. So, like computer microprocessing chips, we've known this for decades now, that as they get smaller and as we approach the nanotech era of microprocessing chips, that we definitely, it's time now isn't the time to say big tech is faking propaganda or is creating propaganda that is scamming customers like you and I into thinking that AI is more than it isn't, because it is. AI is a lot more than it isn't. It's a lot more than I think people will be comfortable accepting moving forward. There are so many creators, there are so many artists, there are so many people that are having to deal with the real idea that artificial intelligence, generative AI, may actually start taking a lot of these jobs a lot sooner than we had all thought. And again, this is something that we talk about here a lot on the channel. I'm a huge proponent of incorporating big tech and utilizing artificial intelligence and welcoming um, generative AI as it evolves into a sentient being. Again, I know it sounds a little weird, but it's just how I feel. It's just how I think the future is going to go. And I think it's important to think like that because it's the only way to set up a foundation that allows for us to give the technology that we've created free will. We won't go down that rabbit hole, I promise. We have a lot of sidebars here on the channel, but I'm not going to take you down that one. Just understand that that I'm a proponent of AI in that it really can help. And I almost feel like, in a non discriminatory way, it really is the only way to solve with a lot of neutrality provided with just aggregate raw data, but truthful data, right? Not manipulated data to come to the best kind of conclusions. Those conclusions not being, this kind of dystopian war. I don't know why all human beings salivate for war, whether or not it's with a Homo sapien or a robot. We're all kind of pro war. Maybe it's embedded in us. Maybe because of our flight or flight. It's like so many studies have concluded that obviously us surviving is a really big component of us thriving, but moreover, a bigger component of our thriving also involves teamwork and protecting our kind from not just like existential threats, but from threats that arise from within our own community, as it is our genus and species. And so, I feel like we're going to get way too off topic or whatever with some of this stuff that we're getting into now. But artificial intelligence and big tech's pivot to have all of these kinds of products thrown in our face is, I think, truthful this time. Truthful this time. They've lied to us many, many times before. I get it. Big data, but none of it was really a lie. I feel like it just all happened faster and went away quicker than we wanted it to. As soon as one industry starts now with big tech, another one simultaneously arises, and that's different from conventional industry in that mostly the progress is linear, predictable, and because of its predictability and it being linear, it can be, processed better. In that there's not all of these different industries sort of just like coming in together all at once, all at the same time. It's a very interesting time to be a human being. It definitely, definitely is. So I say this because AI is not a scam. Big tech is not trying to manipulate people in any kind of a way this time, other than introducing another product that they're testing to see if whether or not they'll be able to make any money off of it. And honestly, the answer is inevitably yes. That's going to be the only way for these big tech companies to make money at the end of the day. And they're constitutionally obligated to follow that corporate doctrine of profit over all else. And so we wonder why the world is the way that it is, and oftentimes it is the way that it is because of the very way we have set it up to be. And so it's important to talk about this stuff. It's important, I think, again, to not fall on the side of thinking AI is being faked, or AI is not here to stay, or that AI is just another fad, as it is generative AI, because it isn't. It isn't. Generative AI gets literally smarter every second of every day moving forward. Eventually, whether we like it or not, it will have a lot more capability to do things a lot faster than we could do them, even if it is doing the same things that we do. We've programmed the thing, but it's just going to be that much better at doing all of the things we can do or are unwilling to do, just better and faster. Yes, that's a machine, sure. Yep, at some point it'll become sentient. I'm just saying, it's not far from the truth, I think, as it concerns the birthing of intelligence, especially with generative AI, which is, the step before quantum and processing information in qubits as opposed to binary code. Which, again, when you go down into the smaller world of things, things get very, very weird. Very, very weird, very, very quickly. And so that's just the way physics is. And I don't write the rules, but I definitely think that we should all, instead of trying to call generative AI as it's being used as scam, we should all seriously, seriously be more concerned with how the betterment of generative AI is going to impact our occupations, and by doing that could potentially affect the economy in a bad way unless we do things and have conversations before that happens to change things, or to at least understand in a better kind of a way how to address them as they are in real time presented to us, if we fail, which I think we might, to do anything about it beforehand. I hope that you guys have a really good night. Again, it's a real popular and common theme, and if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. There are a lot of indicators to gain that opinion of leading to that opinion, and that AI might be a scam. And again, I wouldn't blame me for thinking that. Most of the things that we're presented with in life, because we're in a capitalist world, are basically straight up scams. I mean, the capitalist economy is kind of a pyramid scheme if you really think about it. So, yeah, and that's not even being existential or being controversial or whatever, it's just like the way that it is. The way that it is shouldn't always be that, but if it's said like that, then and I guess capitalism's always going to win, you know. So I honestly, between us, I hope that doesn't happen. I'm a social capitalist myself, but I hope that you guys have a really good night. I thank you again for joining me and giving me your time and being here on the channel. It means a ton. And until next time, bye.